It's a foundation inspection. This is a post tension cable end there, and that little hole there needs to be filled in with parging, protect the post tension cable anchor. It's located at the rear right elevation, close to the porch. I want to cut that nail off there. It's should have been cut off when the builder, but they missed it. Another post tension cable end exposed here. Again, it's the rear elevation. We're now at the front elevation. There's a little bit of erosion here at the front elevation. Just needs to be covered. You can see how the water can get under there and undermine it, so covering it up will be a good thing. There's more erosion here. So erosion at the front elevation, probably due to gutter runoff. We're now at the right elevation of the property. This is the wall and window inspection. We have a retaining wall here. It's all in good condition this day in the inspection. What we're looking for are cracks in the walls, and we've got a crack here. It's caused by differential settlement. You see how it goes down the wall here? That's caused by settlement in the building. As it is at the moment, it's fine, it's cosmetic, but you've got to keep the foundation area around the foundation watered, because over time that could become worse. There's a little bit of cracking here, starting. As again, this shows a little bit about. And we have a differential crack appearing here. This does indicate that the right side elevation of the property is actually settling, and it's reflecting that settlement in small cracks in the brickwork. This is a steel lintel here, and it should have weep holes in the brickwork above it to allow it to ventilate the the space between the walls and stop condensation building up on the lintel. Left as it is at the moment, the water can collect on that lintel. Over time it rusts and it can cause problems to the lintel and the brickwork surrounding it. Well, we have some settlement here, right in this corner. You can see that opening up, that, and round here. This part of the structure is actually settling. We have a bit more of cracking here, so we've got settlement on the right hand elevation of the property. We're now at the front elevation. We're still doing the walls and windows. At the moment we're focusing on walls. We have a settlement here on the left corner, left front corner elevation. You can see cracks appearing above the garage door lintel. We're now at the left hand elevation of the property. Again, we're looking for the condition of the walls. Okay, we're at the left elevation of the property and we've got definite settlement coming down here. Comes right the way down. Now this settlement is probably due to the house being empty and the grade around it not being watered, but I would recommend that you have a pier company look at the property in terms of whether or not you would want to have piers installed. My opinion is at the moment you won't, but left unattended this crack is only going to get worse. We're now at the rear elevation, still focusing on walls and windows. There's weep holes missing from the top of this door over the lintel. There's a differential settlement crack appearing here. Again, this is early signs of settlement in the building. I would attribute it to the grade being allowed to dry out, not being watered, as the house has been empty. Nobody's been looking after it. We're now at the rear elevation at the right, finally concluding the wall inspection. So in summary, there is differential settlement in the building on both left and right elevations. Recorking is required on most of the windows around the house. Here's an example where the corking has actually flaked away over time due to the heat of the sun and weather, and in the corner here we've even got a hole that needs to be addressed. Missing corking here, missing corking here. This is the door, and the door at the threshold, all the corking around here is incorrect. It shouldn't be corked. It should be cut back to allow a gap between it and the ground so water doesn't wick up into the woodwork. The corking along the bottom of the threshold is okay. That needs to be refreshed. Corking around here on this window needs to be addressed, and there's a hole in the corking here. The corking here is splitting open. Again, this is probably due to the settlement in the building. What needs to happen now is that to be recorked. We're at the left elevation, looking at windows, corking condition. Recork here. Let's go to the front elevation. This is a grade inspection. This house is on a retaining wall. Down here there's a big drop, there's another house down below us, and this whole area here is held by that retaining wall. On the the right elevation of the property, we have another retaining wall between the two houses, and the ground slopes away, which is good. We go to the left-hand elevation of the property. Again, you can see we have a retaining wall here between the other two, and you see there's some deterioration in this retaining wall. This is not a large retaining wall, it's quite small, but you can see that we've got cracks appearing there. It's not uncommon to find that, actually. It's not uncommon at all. And the retaining wall obviously runs completely down the left-hand elevation. Then we move to the front. At the front elevation, you can see it slopes nicely away from the building. It will drain well. And now we're at the right-hand elevation. Again, we have a retaining wall, and you can see that the ground slopes away from the building, and there are drains in the retaining wall to drain the grade above. This is a roof inspection. Still a little bit of ice and stuff on the roof, but I could see the decking underneath inside the attic and it was fine. So we're up on the roof now. Let's see what the general condition is. Well, the chimney needs a bit of paint. That wants to be done soon because it's going to deteriorate. Well, at the moment all you have to do is scrape that paint off and it'll be fine. This is the attic inspection. This is a prefabricated truss system manufactured in a factory and bought on site. This is the HVAC compressor. The insulation's in place and in good condition. The overall condition of the unit is good. It's currently running. This is a heat pump and it's supplying heat to the house. So it's fully operational. I won't be checking it on cooling because of the temperature today is below freezing outside, or just above freezing. It's got to be above 60 to use the cooling. But the heating effect is exactly the same as the cooling, it's just the reverse. So we know this unit is operating correctly. This is the isolation valve. Isolation. This is just an isolator, it isolates the unit. This is the filter tray. Yeah, we open it up. You can see there's a metal filter here. There should be another filter slid in here to take out the fine dust. And of course it's not there, it's missing. This is a water heater. I'm looking at the heating element here and we've got corrosion around the edge of it. That doesn't bode well. These water heaters do not last very long anyway, about 6 to 7 years, and they rust out. So this may be nearing its end of its working life. Currently it's not heating. There's volts to it, but I've got no amps at all. Both the valves on the washer, both these faucets here, are leaking. This is the faucet on the right hand side of the property, and you can see that we've got a leaking faucet valve. It's actually leaking out the spigot here. That is caused by a faulty washer. The whole thing needs to be taken apart, washer replaced, and it'll be fine. The water pressure is 50 pounds per square inch. It needs to be between 40 and 80, so that's fine. This is the functional flow. We've got water coming out the faucet in the tub, and we've got water coming out the shower. And you can take a shower and run the tub at the same time, so it passes the functional flow. This is the main electrical panel. These are your arc fault detectors. Everything's fine. The only thing that is wrong is that we have amps being drawn by the building. You see here we've got 70 amps, but we've also got the water heater on. And if I put the clamp across the water heater, we've got no amperage on the water heater. So I thought the water heater wasn't working. I tested it earlier, but you can never be too sure with these things, so I've tested it again, and the water heater is not working. I've tried increasing the temperature to turn it on. This sometimes works. That should come on immediately. But it's not. So the water heater element is not working. This is the exterior outlet. I've just been testing it for operational functionality. It's working. It has GFCI on it. However, it should have a in-use weather cover on it. What that means is there's a plastic cover that should go over it, box-like structure, allows you to plug in your extension cables. Even when it's raining, they're covered and not exposed to the weather. So that needs to be fitted. This is the appliance check. You can see the range has been removed from the house. This is the dishwasher. It's currently running. At the time of the inspection there's no leaks. I'm going to open it up now while it's running. The soap dish tray I closed earlier is now open, which is good. General condition of the baskets are good. Beneath this cover here is a valve, and that valve is locked shut. It will not open. I'm not quite sure whether it's just associated with the landscape irrigation or actually is the stopcock for the house. It may be the stopcock for the house because I haven't been able to find that, and there should be one. That valve needs to be replaced. It's not open at the moment and I can't open it.